my goodness! It's only preseason, but I'm hyped. He'll fuck. Gimme, buckets, gets buckets. Oh my goodness! Give me the hot sauce, Bill Fuck. Give me the hot sauce. What are you doing, Dragic? Did you not get the memo? Derrick Rose can go upstairs.
Time for a brand new edition of the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast. We are all here in our palatial Palatine studios. Timmy whispers, not looking too red today. You're doing pretty good.
Well, my blood pressure's going down, Mark.
A new grandpa. Congratulations to you and your son and his wife. That's fantastic news.
Thank you very much. Yeah, she's a really pretty little kid. As I told you earlier, I thought he had used AI to make that kid look so cute because, like I said, they look like angry tomatoes when they come out. They don't look happy to be out in the real world.
We have that picture?
Little Olivia?
Cisco? Little Olivia?
Oh.
You dropped the ball.
I can said it. Hey, I didn't.
Beautiful photo.
I didn't know we were going to be talking about this.
Come on. You didn't know we were going to be talking about it. Come on, man. It's a new baby in the world,
first
baby.
grandchild. Come on now.
All right, that's easy to do. That's a quick fix. But,
just save it. Just save it, man.
Yeah.
All right, I ruined everything.
You just ruined everything, man. God.
Huh?
Lord.
So the name, Olivia Renee, right?
Olivia Renee, yes, and she was a good sized, baby for, for a small woman delivering her.
So we know the stress of what it's like when it's your own child. What's it like for you and your wife when you're anticipating that first grandchild?
I can't say I felt much stress at all, but I did see it on my son and saw it on their face even days later. The lack of sleep, even though they had no complications, it's a trying effort. I mean, she had 28 hours of labor.
Oh, that is labor. Wow.
So yeah, that happens sometimes with the first one. It can be a little extended.
28 hours.
Yeah. I tell you, when I had my first son, you had to go to the Lamaze class. With my wife, so I had to go to Lamaze class, and I was always coming home from practice. I was going to Lamaze class from practice, so I'd be sleeping during all the segments of the Lamaze class. And the nurse told me, she said, Mr. King, I just want to let you know, I hope you're ready for what you're going to be expecting, what's going to be coming. Yeah. And I said, hey, calm down, nurse. I'll be ready when the time comes. I'll be better than all these dads in here.
You used to performing under pressure.
Yeah, so she didn't believe it. She goes, I hope you're awake when your son or daughter's born. Yeah. And I was like, you just don't worry about me. So then when it happened, my ex-wife Lisa was in labor for like 20 plus hours as well. And so I remember I was right there. I was wide awake. I'm holding hands. And I'll tell you something. When a pregnant woman is having a baby, don't hold her hand.
Her strength.
Her strength is superhuman. She literally almost broke my, and I got big hands. She literally had me out there tapping out like, okay, well, ease up. I mean, she was squeezing the crap out of my hands. But then the nurse comes in and she goes, I am so proud of you. You were paying attention the whole time. I said, look, I was asleep, but I heard everything, okay? The breathing and all that stuff. I knew all of it, Mark. I knew I didn't faint. I didn't faint like some of the dads fainted when the baby came. I was right there, hands ready. I was down there with the doctor trying to catch it.
Yeah, when my son was born, I was doing the 10 o'clock news at Channel 7, and I got home about 11:30. My wife's like, she's thinking, oh, it could be coming. And then, after about an hour or so, she's like, maybe not. So, she said, we should be okay. And then all of a sudden, it's like, we got to go now. So we get in the car. I'm running red lights, trying to get to the hospital. Basically, I parked where I wasn't supposed to park. We just ran in there, and I'm struggling to put the scrubs on and the little boots. And it's like, she's like, come on. And the baby was born less than an hour later. So no messing around.
Well, times have changed. When I was born, the dads weren't allowed in the room. That's how old I am. And so he got a phone call, intercom system, because they thought it was just.
What are you laughing about, D? Come on now.
That's how it was in the day, D. They just thought it was going to be another giant baby like my older brother, because he was like an 11-pounder. And
11 pounds?
Yeah. Well, it kind of shows even today because he's a Sasquatch. But
he's a big dude. He's a big dude.
So they said, well, you have another little boy. And then he's like, oh, great. And they said, and a little girl. So now it's 3 kids under 18 months. Ooh. So that's when he passed out.
Do you probably haven't watched any of these old movies or old sitcoms where the husband is in the bar, he gets
smoking
a
cigarette.
Yeah. I mean, it
having
was
a scotch.
Totally different way of life back then.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And they didn't do the ultrasound to tell you if you were having a boy or a girl. Mm-hmm. Like I remember my mom said when she was pregnant, back in like, the late 60s, early 70s, it was, it was based on how you were carrying the child. If you were carrying higher, it was a girl. If you were carrying low, it was a boy. So when I came along, I was high. So that's where the name Stacey came, because my mom thought I was going to be a girl, and my dad was like, "No, I'm a boy maker." The ego. I'm a boy maker. It's going to be a boy. It's going to be a boy. So that's how my first name was there. Ronald. So my mom goes, "Nope, it's going to be a girl. It's going to be a girl." She could swear by it was going to be a girl, so she kept the name Stacey and then put the EY when it turned out it was a boy. So when I came out, I was a boy.
Boy named Sue.
Who?
A boy named Sue.
Oh,
best thing your dad could have done for you, right?
See, and I'm telling you, and then when I came out as a boy, then my dad was like, what I tell you, I'm a boy maker. So I ended up having another sibling later on, 3 years later, and we had all boys, and I got all boys. I'm a boy maker.
There you go.
Yeah, baby, I'm a boy maker.
Well, congratulations to your son and his wife.
Well, thank you.
That's really exciting, and for you being a grandpa, that's also fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're going over to see Grandpa, the red one. We're going to the red faced Grandpa. That's what we're
Hey, man, that's what they just call me is Red.
Yeah, Big Red.
I want to be called Grandpa. I don't want to be called Grandpa at my age.
Oh, you gonna be called Grandpa?
No, just T-Dog.
No, T-Dog. Oh my God, no, it's not gonna work. Not gonna work.
Oh, darn.
Well, the other big news, of course, is it's the start of the football season. We had our first college football weekend. Oklahoma among the big winners. As the ranked teams roll for the most part.
We're in the SEC this year. It's going to be tough for us, but we got to win these non-conference games. We should win the non-conference games. I don't know. Oh, 51-3. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh my. Oh, that was ugly. Hey, you know what? They're going to be better. They're going to be better than what they were last year.
Yeah.
The coach now has been there to be his second season. He's one of the best defensive minds in college football. And he's got some offensive guys to help him out on the offense, because that's where they struggled at last year. Defense was good, offense struggled a little bit, but the SEC ain't no joke. Both them and Texas are going in there, and they've been dominating the Big 12 for so many years. It's like Kansas in basketball. Kansas didn't win the Big 12 this year. This is the first time they hadn't won basketball in a long, long time, because other good teams, Houston came in, some good teams come in, and now that you get these super conferences, the teams who have dominated are no longer going to be dominating. And so in the SEC, you're going up against Alabama, you're LSU, Florida, Georgia. I mean, there's going to be some really, really good games for Oklahoma and Texas. And it's going to probably take them a couple of years to figure out what the SEC is, because now they're going to be able to recruit. They're going to be able to recruit SEC in the SEC territory now, because they are in the SEC. It's really tough for them to get kids from the South to come to Oklahoma, because most of those kids go to all the SEC schools. But now that they're in the SEC, Oklahoma is considered a powerhouse. They'll be able to get some of those kids.
Of course, Oklahoma went to the SEC with their rivals, Texas, and Texas jumped up to number 3 in the polls this week. They're going into the big house. They're playing Michigan on Saturday. That'll be a fun game to watch.
I got Texas winning that, though. I'm not if Harbaugh was there.
Yeah, they lost almost everybody.
They lost almost everybody. And if Harbaugh was there, I would give them a fighting chance. But Texas is too explosive. I mean, their quarterback came back. He's like 20 like been in school 20 years. With this NIL money, these kids ain't anxious to come out. So, and then you got Archie Manning's son, Peyton Manning's nephew on the bench that is really getting closer and closer to getting more playing time there. And then Sarkisian's a really good coach, really good offensive coach. Texas is going to be one of the teams at the end of the playoff series. I think you're going to see it's going to make some noise.
How about Notre Dame going down to Texas and beating Texas A&M? That was a close game, defensive battle, and they pulled it out. And now you look at their schedule, Tim, and they could go undefeated based on who they play coming up.
Well, they thought that about LSU as well. That didn't work out so well.
The LSU lost.
Yeah, lost to USC. So that USC Notre Dame game, which is played every year, is going to take on even more importance now.
Sure.
Because USC jumped up to 13. And the kid Miller, the quarterback who replaced Caleb Williams, he looks good. I mean,
they said that about that kid. They said when Caleb left and he ended up playing in the bowl game, he threw for like 8 touchdowns. And they said this kid is very talented. There's not a huge drop off in the quarterback situation. So do not be surprised next year, which is now, that if this kid doesn't come out and look like one of these Heisman Trophy candidates by the end of the season.
Tim, did you watch any of the Northwestern game?
I did not.
The TV angles were not good on that makeshift stadium. I give them all the credit in the world. They basically threw this together. Ryan Field is no more. It's been demolished. So they got this makeshift kind of looks like a high school stadium that they built right along the lakefront. The views are beautiful. They had drone coverage. They were flying over and showing the lake and sailboats out there. But the game was pretty nondescript. You know, it was 13-6, I think. But they got the win.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me when they were doing the basketball stadium and they played in the practice with the glass windows looking at the lake, and people are like, wow, their new stadium's gorgeous. But, yeah, that view is tremendous up there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they can follow up what they did last year because they shocked everybody. But I don't think they're going to sneak up on anybody, and the Big Ten is so much tougher this year.
Yeah, they're going to have their struggles.
Ooh, the Big Ten, man. It's a different Big Ten.
The Big Ten.
It's a way different Big Ten.
Had in those 4 Pac-12 teams.
Yeah, and those were powerhouse Pac-12 teams.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a big time conference as well. I mean, USC, UCLA. Who else did they add?
Oregon and Washington.
Oh, Lord. The Oregon Ducks are there?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. This is going to be. Hey. This is some people going to be in trouble.
Yeah, no messing around now.
Hey, Ohio State been dominating. Michigan been dominating.
Yeah.
There's some new boys in town.
That's right.
New boys in town.
It's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out because obviously with 18 teams in the conference, you're not playing everybody. And from year to year, it's going to change whether you have a more favorable schedule or not. Ohio State has to go to Oregon. That'll be a tough game.
That's like a bowl game.
Yeah, it is.
That's a bowl game, and then go on the road, and that's a tough place to win.
Yeah.
That's a tough place to play. But I mean, if anybody could do it, Ohio State can because they are always right up there in the recruiting. I don't know how they stay up there so high as they do. They're right up there. Well, that NIL money, yeah.
They paid a record money this year because basically, if Ryan Day doesn't get to the national title game, he's probably out as coach.
See, I wouldn't want that pressure cooker of a job because when you have that type of talent and you're not winning, I mean, when you get to the Final Four and that's not enough, that tells you something about your program. Like the expectations are too high. To be able to get to a playoff series, that tells you have a good football team. And also they lost to Michigan the last couple of years, which hurt them too. Harbaugh just had their number, but I don't think that's going to be the case now. I think Ohio State will go back to beating Michigan. But yeah, when you make it to the Final Four and that can't save your job, man, I don't know if I want that job.
Yeah. National title or bust for Ohio State.
Yeah.
It's also the first week of the National Football League starting, and Chicago fans very excited about what the Bears are capable of doing this year with Caleb Williams as quarterback, an outstanding defense, great receiver room. It's going to be fun to watch the Bears. They open up at home against the Tennessee Titans. What are you expecting to see on opening day?
Explosiveness. I expect to see the defense flying all over the place. You don't want to overlook the Titans. Ryan Tannehill's not there anymore. So
yeah, Will Levis is starting.
Will Levis is starting. He's still a young quarterback trying to find his way. It's an opportunity for him to really solidify the QB position in Tennessee. But it's basically having a rookie as your quarterback, basically. Even though he's been in the league now a couple of years, it's like having a rookie there. I'm anxious to see the offense of the Bears. I just feel like this team's going to be putting up like 20, 25, 30 points a game, their offense. And I think if their defense plays the way they're capable of playing, there's going to be games where they're holding teams down, they're blowing teams out. The preseason was just a taste of it, and a lot of people say, "Oh, don't get too excited. It's just a preseason." But if you're a Bears fan, you are excited because there's been preseason games where they've looked awful, and you knew going into the season they weren't going to be very good. But you've got to be optimistic that this team, even though they won 7 games last year, they should have won 10. Mm-hmm. Okay, we all know that. The quarterback position is totally different. I think this kid is the real deal. I think, with all the weapons around him, all he has to do is just, drive the car and get the ball to the right people at the right time, move the ball downfield, keep the chains moving. We haven't seen a lot of, Swift running a lot. I'm anxious to see.
He hasn't played much.
He hasn't played much, so I'm anxious to see, what he does. And, the Bears last year had a good running game. They were averaging like almost 5 yards a carry. So if you add that along with, being able to move the ball downfield with the pass, it's going to be a fun offense to watch.
I was surprised to see that Matt Eberflus named 8 captains, 4 on offense, 4 on defense, including Caleb Williams. People are researching it. They don't think the Bears have ever had a rookie as one of their captains. You've been a part of great teams. 8 captains?
Let me tell you something, man. That's ridiculous. Seriously. I understand what he's trying to do. I understand what he's trying to do.
Nice photo.
Yes, and it's a cool photo. But, really, get 3. 3 guys is enough. I don't think you put a rookie as a captain in his first year because he's already going to have enough to worry about as a rookie quarterback. Does he have leadership skills? Yes. Is he a guy that can ascend to that role at some point? Yeah. But not his first year. Let him be a rookie. Let him learn from the older guys how to be a leader, how to be a captain. You see a guy like, DJ Moore. Yeah, he could be a captain. Let him learn from those kind of guys, I just don't think you need 8, and I think you need the guys that everyone respects. And I'm not saying they don't respect Caleb Williams. He's just a young player. He needs to focus more on, week to week getting better. Limit his turnovers and let him grow. That's a lot of pressure putting on a kid who's just came out of college and saying, you're a captain. You're the leader of this team. That's a lot of pressure.
We're coming at you on a Tuesday. We're recording this. We're looking ahead to the game on Sunday. And tonight is also the last episode of Hard Knocks on HBO. I'm sure they're going to feature a lot of the players who were cut. Did you guys see last week's episode?
I'm binge watching, right? I'm going to save everything until the very end. I'm going to binge watch.
Yeah, they had a great story about Ian Wheeler, who was a free agent running back who unfortunately suffered a torn ACL in the last preseason game. They showed him with his mom. If that doesn't tug at your heartstrings,
that was brutal, wasn't it?
The hug that lasted forever.
Oh, man, I was a little choked up, and then but the Bears did the right thing.
Well, the nice thing is he goes on injured reserve, and he'll get a chance to try out again next year. He'll be paid for this year, which is an important thing for a young athlete. And his biggest attribute was his breakaway speed. You hope that the ACL isn't going to hurt that.
Speed.
But the way they do these surgeries now, most guys come back
better,
stronger than ever.
Yeah, right? I mean, just seeing Zach LaVine when Zach LaVine was going through that ACL repair when he first got here in Chicago, and then seeing him coming back from that and jumping higher than he jumped before he had hurt his knee. All the quickness was there, so it's amazing what they do now. Back in the olden days, like in the 80s, you tore your ACL you tore your Achilles, it was a death sentence. Now, and you're talking about 12 months, a whole year of recovery. Right. These dudes are back in like 4 or 5 months. They're back to doing full grind, which is amazing.
So we wish Ian Wheeler well in his recovery from ACL repair. And because of his injury, Velus Jones Jr. made the team. He was a guy that dropped the ball rather on kick returns or passes last year. But they love his potential. They tried him some at running back. He ran over for 100 yards in the last preseason game.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something. If they can convert Cordell Patterson into like a / wide receiver kick returner to a running back, why can't you do that with Velus?
Yeah.
I think he's shown that he can do it.
Got the speed.
He got the breakaway speed.
And the cuts.
And he can catch the ball out the backfield, which is important.
And it gives another weapon. You can use them in so many different ways.
Yes.
Jet sweeps, running them out of the backfield for passes. And I don't know if he's going to have a role in the return game because that's where he really struggled to seem to catch the ball.
Well, it's just back there is a punt. I mean, that's a tough responsibility out there. When you get that punt coming down and you see like 11 guys coming at you, and like you're looking at the ball, where's the closest guy to me? The ball, closest guy to me. Yeah, I can say I wouldn't want to do that job. I'd be fair catching all the time.
A lot of pressure.
I'll be able to like this, and people are like 30 yards away from me. I'm fair catching. Like, damn, King, once you catch the punt first before you fair catch. I'm like, nah, man, I saw them guys coming at me, man. Nope.
Yeah. Hey, we got something special coming up for you. Standing by is Denham Richards. He's one of the stars of the great series Yellowstone. It's preparing. It's been a couple of years, hasn't it? Since
they need to bring it back, man.
Yeah, so it's November. It's coming back in November. So we'll talk to him about that and a lot of projects he's got going on. So that's coming up next. But first, I want to tell you about our great sponsor, Jeff Vukovic. He can take care of all of your insurance needs. He always treats you like royalty. Make sure to contact nationwide agent Jeff Vukovic. He'll take care of all your auto, home, and business needs. You can reach him at jeffvuk.com. That's jeffvuk.com. The phone number 847-825-4783. Start of training camp for the Bulls is 4 weeks away, and Stacey's got the vocal cords ready to roll.
Oh, Lord. You just brought me down. You just brought me down, Mark. I was all ready to go. You said 4 weeks. Oh. But I stay ready, America.
Yeah.
Nationwide is on your side.
Nicely done. He's still got a month left of vacation, so take full advantage of that. But vacation is almost over for the cast of Yellowstone. I'm sure that they've already got most of the shows in the can. So we'll talk to Denham Richards next on Gimme the Hot Sauce. We get comments from people who are watching on YouTube or maybe sent something on social media on the Gimme the Hot Sauce account. We want to start with Ben Feldman. This is a good question. He wanted to ask, who's the most underrated Hall of Fame player in your opinion? I guess we'll stick to basketball unless you want to go to a different sport.
You
You know, one guy that I've always thought was underappreciated, and of course I'm showing my age here, Elvin Hayes, the Big E.
The Big E.
Remember the game in the Astrodome was like this is before you were born, but everybody knows in history, they played the Astrodome when UCLA had won all these games in a row, and they played Houston. In the Astrodome. And
it was like the
Kareem
largest game.
was Lou Alcindor at the time, got poked in the eye, and his vision was a little bit blurred, and they beat him. Houston beat UCLA, and they came back in the tournament, and UCLA just killed them. But you look up the career numbers of guys, Elvin Hayes is in the top 20 in both scoring and rebounding. And, you know, people talk about Moses Malone and Akeem and all these guys who are great players. But you talk about underrated guys, that's the guy that jumps to mind for me.
That's interesting. That's almost like one you'd have to think about.
Yeah.
Because that kind of caught me off guard. But if I was just to go off the top of my head, I would say my teammate Scotty.
Yeah.
I think Scotty is underappreciated by people. I think people look at him as being, you know, he benefited by being with Michael Jordan. I think he showed a lot of people when Michael retired that he was a player of stature, a player that top player in the league without Michael Jordan. He doesn't get the credit of being the guy. I consider he was like the heart and soul of those championship years. The players really looked for him when things got rough. You know, Scotty would calm everybody down. Scotty would be the guy like, hey, if you let's say you made a mistake or you blew an assignment or something, you know, Scotty would always be that guy to come up and put his arm around you and say, hey, don't worry about it. We need you. Get your head back in the game. You know, that's just one play. Let it go. It wouldn't be MJ. MJ might be yelling at you. He might be telling, you better catch that ball next time I'm going to pass to you. That kind of thing. So he was the good cop, bad cop situation that you normally have with coaches. You know, the head coach always looked at the bad cop. The assistant coaches always looked at as a good cop, but having a player of Scotty's stature on your team and being able, especially as young players like myself and BJ, Scott Williams, having him on there to be able to guide you through things and help you out. And Pax was like that too, and Bill Cartwright, but we're talking Hall of Fame players, you know. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. We don't beat the Lakers unless you know, Phil doesn't make that switch putting Scotty on Magic. Because, you know, as great a defender as Michael was, he was still getting up 3 inches and about 25 pounds to Magic Johnson. And that first game proved it. When we lost the first game of that series, you know, LA comes in and you know, Sam Perkins hits that shot at the end to win the game. But really, the whole part of that game was Magic dominating that game and being able to get guys in position not only to score, but, you know, to cause matchup problems. Because when you have a guy like that who can walk you down from 60 feet and he's playing at his own pace, and you got arguably one of the best defenders on the floor having a hard time guarding him, you know, Phil Jackson going to Scotty and saying, we're going to put you on him in game 2, that changed the whole complexion of that series. And people don't talk about that. People don't talk about that particular part. They just say, well, that was the Bulls' first championship. Michael did this, Michael did that. But they don't make that change. Maybe our fortunes are a little bit different in that series.
Whispers, you got one?
For basketball, I'd go with Bob McAdoo.
Yeah. He was great, yeah.
I mean, I think he
led the league in scoring in Buffalo, and then he was a reserve on a couple of Lakers.
He was my coach in Miami. Bob.
There you go.
Yeah, Bob
was he?
Great. Yeah,
oh, that's right. Yeah, he was
my assistant. He was my assistant coach in Miami.
But yeah, that Braves thing I think held him back out of the Hall of Fame for a while. It's like Buffalo Braves, like who's that kind of thing. But I mean, you look at his numbers, like you were talking about.
That was a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
They had Ernie DiGregorio. He was a flashy guard, behind the back passes and stuff, and Randy Smith had the record for most consecutive games played for a while. That was a fun team.
He talks about his time in L.A. You know, when he came off the bench as a sixth man. And, you know, he was talking about, you know, because when Pat Riley came to Miami, Pat had this whole different, like, you know, how he coaches the culture and all this stuff. And we had saw a little bit of it in New York, you know, because we always thought when he was in L.A. it was his flash and, you know, it was just Showtime L.A., fun, blah, blah, blah. And then when he got to L.A., you heard stories from Charles Oakley, guys who played for the Bulls going, man, this dude is crazy, man. We got 4-hour practices. We got 2-hour shoot-arounds taped. And we're like, wow. And then at the end of the season, going into the playoffs, in New York would always go do 2-a-days again. And we like, wow, we're going to 2 days after going through an 82-game season. That's crazy. Yeah. And then when I got there in Miami, he did the same thing.
No joke.
And I asked Bob McAdoo, I said, man, was he like that when y'all in L.A., when Magic and you guys in the Showtime era? He goes, no, he tried it. He came back one year, and it's kind of very similar to that Showtime show.
Yeah.
where Pat was like in the beginning trying to be everybody's friend, and then he got tough, as the show went on. That's kind of how it was. And he said one day Magic told everybody to circle up. And he got in the circle, middle of the circle, and he told Pat Riley, "I'm going to kick your ass. It's you and me right now." And like literally told him to get in the circle because he wanted Magic. He wanted Magic. He came that year, and Bob said he came that year talking about the Lakers weren't in shape and they had just won 2 championships in a row, whatever, and we need to get tougher and all this other stuff. And so his practice was like crazy. So Magic wasn't having it. And so Magic was like, "Hey, you and me right here in the circle." And then he said after that, Pat realized who ran the team. At that point, Pat kind of felt like he was the guy because they won the championships and everything. And Magic let him know really quick, this is a players' league.
The new sheriff
The Lakers is my team right now. So, and then that their kind of relationship was kind of strained a little bit, and then Pat ended up leaving, and then the rest is history.
Next question comes from at Abnormal Mind 112, and this is in regard to our conversation about Zach LaVine last week. We talked about the fact, what happens if Zach comes back scoring 25 points a game? Are you going to have a tough decision at the deadline? Well, our guy Abby's not a big fan. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see his comments. He says he's not consistent, a liability who makes poor decisions in crunch time. Bulls have only had 1 winning season in the 7 years that he's been on the team. Just move on. There's a lot of Zach haters out there, but I tell you what, he's going to come back highly motivated. He's back 100% healthy. He's been playing well in the summer. He's got a lot at stake. He's 29. It's not like a guy 36 who's hanging on at the end of his career.
Listen, Abby, I understand what you've got some interesting facts here. Okay. Matter of fact, when I look at that 1 winning season in 7 seasons, I go, whoa.
That's hard to ignore, right?
Yeah. But as we know, this is not tennis, it's not boxing, it's not golf. This is a team game. He wasn't the only one that's tied to this record. Okay. You can go coaching, you can go other players. A lot of people were involved in this 7 seasons of not winning. Okay. Now, is Zach a top 10 player? No. In my opinion, no. I love Zach, but he's not a top 10 player. Is he a top 25 player? I think he's more on the end of that last 5 of 25, maybe going into 30, But you're not going to find a Zach LaVine walking on the streets. Okay, this is a guy that come in here.
Guy scored 25 a game.
He can get you 30 if you really want 30. I think the biggest problem with Zach is, and it's what's really held him back, and I blame a lot on coaching. I'm not saying Billy Donovan. I'm talking about previous coaches that he's had. They've never demanded him to take his game to another level to be a defensive-minded player. If he'd have been under Thibs a little bit longer, I think he would have changed his mentality of the way he thinks. I think Thibs would have gotten him to realize, or he'd been sitting on the bench or he'd been traded, that I think Thibs would have reached him and said, "Hey, look, we need you to be an elite player on both ends." Because there's no reason why Zach LaVine cannot be an elite player on the defensive end. He's too athletic. I mean, this guy has got really big-time athleticism. There's no reason why he shouldn't get 2.5 steals, 3 steals a game with his athleticism, playing the passing lanes and getting out, doing the things that he wants to do, the fancy dunks and all that stuff. He should be able to do that every night. If LeBron James can get 2 steals at 40 years old, come on, man. Come on, man. Zach, you got to commit to the defense. And Mark, I just honestly think no one's really set him down and made him realize the commitment to defense. Because most coaches probably say, "You just score. We'll worry about the defense again later. We need your points."
You mentioned LeBron, and that leads me to the conversation that he had in an interview he did recently, where he said that his son can't call him dad on the court. He can call him 2-3, Bron, or GOAT if he feels like it.
GOAT. See, this is. Wow. I saw that, Mark.
Wow.
Mark, I saw that, and this is why. Listen, and I respect LeBron James to the fullest. Okay, but he tries too hard.
Yeah.
He tries too hard to let everybody know he considers himself the GOAT. Dude, the GOATs never have to tell anybody they're the GOAT. Okay, it's like, okay, if you're a dog and you walk around with a dog head on, you can't say you're a GOAT because you don't have a goat head, okay? But if you're a goat doesn't walk around talking about, "I'm a lion," okay? A goat is a goat. And if you're the GOAT, you don't have to tell anybody you're the GOAT. Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain can go back and say, "I'm the greatest player ever, and I'll probably be the greatest player when I'm gone. No one will do what I do. No one will break these records." He never once said that. These guys, great players, know they're great. They let the discussion be amongst fans. They let the fans and the media decide who's the GOAT, okay? But to say, "Tell your son to call me the GOAT," Oh, I cringed on that
How
one.
tough is that going to be for Bronny when they're on the court at the same time?
Man, I tell you what, he's gonna be starting by mid part of the season. Remember, I told y'all that. Listen, if Austin Reeves came out of nowhere and ended up being a starter, do not be surprised, America. I guarantee by some point in the season, Bronny will have at least 10 starts for the Lakers before the season ends. You remember I told y'all that? Like,
That's right.
Everybody thinks I'm crazy right now.
Heard it here on Gimme the Hot
10,
Sauce.
10 starts. Watch what I tell you.
Last comment is from Chicago Bulls all day, and this is something we appreciate very much. We appreciate all of our viewers and listeners. He says, Stacey, King, and crew, thanks for keeping the slow off-season entertaining and the inspiration you give us to keep doing these videos for Bulls Nation.
Oh, you
Isn't
know
that
what?
nice?
You know what?
You're an inspiration.
You know what? It's so much fun. It's not even a job.
Yeah.
It's so much fun coming here. Like I really love coming here, hanging out with you guys, and the crew. The crew does a great job behind the scenes. Making sure we get the videos out on time.
At least someone's having a good time.
Cisco, my boy Nick, who I'm not talking to right now because he's ducking me in college football NCAA. He's ducking me. He got 2 wins, and so this
Oh no, you had to do that.
What?
Don't go there.
Listen, first of all, Nick is playing in somebody's closet. Okay, 41-14, that's not my game. Don't put that on there. Don't put me on there. That 41-14 was not me. I was going to throw that out in America. I lost 21-16. The guy gets a win, he quits. You got to give a person 3 games, man. Come on, the best 2 out of 3. I got to go watch Ron Jeremy, the best of Ron Jeremy. I got to go watch SpongeBob. Come on, Nick. Nick, if you're out there listening to him, you got an ass whooping coming, boy. Okay, I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you, boy. And anybody else out there who plays Xbox or PlayStation and you play NCAA college football, my screen name is Rico Dinero, Reeko Dinero, Dinero. If you want to play me, send me a friend's request and I'll bust that ass.
Oh, boy.
There we go. So we're going to be sending some of the hot sauce out to our special guest today, Denham Richards. Whispers, tell the folks how they can get their own bottle.
Well, I think by coming on and being a great guest, you can get some bottles. That's one of the best ways of doing it.
So you're going to take care of that?
So if you're listening, Kerry Wood.
Wow, he called out. Oh, straight
Come
shot.
on now.
Straight shot.
Hey, it's been a year.
Richard did. Straight shot, Richard did.
Richard's coming.
Oh, yeah,
I'll see
okay.
him Friday.
You've been coming for a long
He
time.
went fishing in Costa Rica.
Yeah,
again.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, he's
Man,
coming
that's
on.
my boy, Rich. Come on, Rich. Don't stand us up, baby. Come on now.
No, I'm not worried about Richard. I'm worried about Kerry. What happened to that guy? I gotta ring him up again. I'm gonna start stalking.
Yeah, start talking.
Pull my stocking cap.
Sitting over there brooding on the
Yeah,
I am.
I'm asking him to sell some hot sauce.
That hurts right here, Mark.
Kerry caught a stray right in the neck. Oh.
Kerry got me.
Yeah, he got me. A voodoo doll. Thanks, Tim.
But in the meantime, you can just go to GimmeTheHotSauce.com. And
Jeez, don't beep the horn.
He's
at
hot
Whispers
right
tonight.
there.
Rage, man.
Hey, he's hot right now, and he got it. And Whispers got a gun in his office too. Oh Lord! Oh, don't get him mad at you, Kerry. Kerry, don't let him get mad at you, buddy. We know you coming on at some point.
Go to
Just to wrap up the
GimmeTheHotSauce.com and order all the varieties. You'll enjoy it. Spice up your late summer barbecue.
Spice it up, baby. Spice it up.
And if you have some transportation needs,
Windy
City Limousine will take care of it.
Woo! Windy City Limousine provides championship service. Making a reservation in America is so easy, it's a slam dunk. Let Windy City break the full court pressure of traffic and get you to your destination in style and on time. Make sure you contact Windy City at 847-916-9300. That's 847-916-9300. And go to WindyCityLimos.com and you can make a reservation as there. And ask for Mike Amaral. The guy is one of the best drivers. He drives me everywhere. I've been using Windy City probably now about 5 years, and I've never been late.
And don't beep the horn at him. He's a mixed martial arts expert.
Yes, he's a third degree taekwondo.
Yeah.
He's a ladies' man. He's got women all
Those
over.
two don't necessarily go together, but in
No,
this case,
no.
what he's saying, he's gonna whip it out.
What?
Come on.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Whispers always knows how to end the show.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. We just crash landed right now. The landing gear didn't come out. We just went nose like wow. Way to go,
Where
Whispers.
you were going with that?
Wow. Ron Jeremy. Nice penis.
Nick said if you want an easy win in college football, make sure to play Stacey King.
Okay, listen. Who asked you to come in here? Okay, go wheel your Ironside butt right back out there. He's in a wheelchair, America. We hired him because he's got no legs. Just wheel yourself right back out there, buddy.
Thanks,
well, you know what? All I know is he's ducking me. He's got all opportunity to play. He don't want to show up and play. I can't beg nobody to play. So I got to take it out on everybody else. I got open invitations on Twitter. I beat somebody 84-21. I felt bad about it.
But you had to do it.
But I had to send a message. So you gonna challenge me on Twitter? You got
Poor kid was 6, but
no, he wasn't. He was 24. Matter of fact, he played with Iowa, and I told him. I said, "Why you playing with Iowa? They suck." I play with every team in the NCAA because you have to, because you got to check out the playbooks. He's like, "Oh, because I went there. I love the Hawkeyes." I
think they averaged about 8 points last year.
Oh, speaking of, and I played my man Dan Cheros from the Bulls. I played him last night. He went to University of Illinois, so he had to play with Illini. Yeah. I said, "Why are you playing?" I said, "Why are you playing with them? They suck." He's like, "Oh no, I got to stay with my team." Well, he got a can of whoop ass last night too. He got beat down. So, little Dan, if you're out there listening, because I know you are, sorry I had to do that to you.
Find a new squad.
Get you a new squad quick, because Lovie Smith ain't there anymore. So get you a new squad, buddy.
All right, time for us to get out of here. Whispers has made his crude comment for the day.
Yes.
And we are coming back next week with a whole lot more. Congratulations again to the new grandfather. And we have a new show coming up next week. It's only 4 weeks until the start of training camp.
Okay,
for
Mark.
The Bulls.
Enough.
Oh, there's the photo.
There it is.
Beautiful
right there.
Olivia Renee. Welcome to the world.
Man, that baby like she's
You
like
have
18.
no idea what you're in for with your
She
grandfather.
got like a grown-up face.
see what I mean? Like, that's not right.
Beautiful
It's got to
little
be
girl.
AI, right?
Beautiful little girl. She looks old.
I know, like, and that's the next day.
That's the next day?
Yeah.
Because normally babies are still like kind of swollen.
Like I said, they look like angry tomatoes.
Yeah, that was
future.
a pretty little baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You guys did something.
She
It's
looked
like,
older.
no, we didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's a pretty baby. Well, Tim's son is a nice looking guy, and his wife's a nice looking girl. So I don't know where had that happen because Maureen is Miss Rockford, Miss Illinois.
Miss Illinois.
Yeah. See, y'all think Whispers is just some clown on here, okay? Whispers. Whispers' wife.
That's kind of the consensus.
Yeah.
Whispers is married to a former Miss Illinois. Okay.
There you go.
So y'all think Whispers is just some? And I'm not saying a pretty face. He's a clown. Okay. His wife is former Miss Illinois.
How about that?
Got beautiful kids.
Just remember, humor wins every time.
Hey, you know what?
Crude comments can go a long way, Mark.
You know what? He got her. He got her with some crude comments. Okay. He's just.
She's like, this is different.
Hey, Mark, you heard the term outkicked your coverage.
Oh yeah.
Well, Tim very much outkicked his coverage.
I'll admit it.
Yeah. Beautiful wife, beautiful kids. So how tall is Austin? Like 6 what?
6'7".
Is he 6'7" for real? Mm-hmm. Austin's 6'7". No, he is tall. I thought he was like 6'5". He's 6'7", blonde kid. Daughter's a pretty girl. Kira, pretty girl. She sings. Yeah, he's got a talented family. I don't know what came from Maureen.
Well, we always
Maureen, shout out to Maureen Kelley.
We all said thinking her looks in my brain might have something. We don't want it the other way around.
Oh, Mark, thank God she's held up her end of the bargain. Okay, Maureen. When you're out there listening, I know you probably don't listen to the show because Thibs on it. But if you happen to listen to this show, because we talked about the grandbaby, you've held up the Kelley name up there with the looks of the kids and the grandbaby. Congratulations, former Miss Illinois. Tim is former Mr. Barrington.
Yeah.
Time to say goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Whoa, drive on safely. Hey, what's up? This is Stacey King.
And I'm Timmy Whispers.
Of Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast. Each week, make sure you join us. Timmy Whispers, what do they need to hit?
They need to hit like and subscribe so they get all the notifications and news from our podcast.
That boy is sweet. Just make sure when the video's over, click to the left, and you'll get our previous videos for the previous week and have some fun because we'd love to have fun on Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast.
Woohoo!